Hey gaming fans, so today I have another Yu-Gi-Oh deck profile, and this one is Monarchs. Well, it's kind of a Chaos Monarch deck, and there's a reason why. So let's get to the build. So we have starting the three Idas, if that's how you say it, the Heavenly Squire. So this card's pretty staple in Monarch decks nowadays. If this card is normal or special summon, you could special summon one monster with 800 attack and 1,000 defense from your deck in defense position, except itself, so it's usually this one. And then you cannot special summon from your extra deck for the rest of this turn, which you never do in this deck anyways. You don't even have an extra deck. If this card is sent from the grave to the graveyard, you could target one of your banished Monarch spell or trap cards and add it to your hand. So pretty cool card. You know, it allows you to build up your board a bit and bring out some Monarchs, pretty much. And you do that by bringing out a copy of this guy. If this guy is a normal or a special summon, during your main phase this turn, you could tribute summon one monster in addition to your normal summoner set. So basically you'll have the two monsters out, and then you can tribute summon into a Monarch if you need to. And then you can only gain the effect once per turn. You could banish this card from your graveyard, then target one monster with 800 attack or 1,000 defense in your graveyard, accept him, and special summon it in defense position. And then you can't special summon from the extra deck. So, I mean, they work well together. Of course, they were in the same structure deck together. And for this deck, they're both light and dark. And that's it for the normal summons. So we're going to get into the tribute summons. So one Karez, the light Monarch. When this card is normal and special summon, you can destroy up to 2 cards on the field. And then for each card destroyed, the controller of that card draws 1 card. So essentially you either blow up your opponent's cards, they draw cards, or you blow up your own card and you draw cards, or you could do both. And then we have Majesty's Fiend, which cannot be special summoned, and monster effects cannot be activated. So this does, you know, kind of can work against you, but I mean, there's one in the deck. Usually you pull this out and you sit on them until your opponent can get rid of them, or you get rid of them yourself. Then I'm playing one Chaos, the Shadow Monarch, and this is a card I haven't played in a long time. I mean, people stopped playing the classic Monarchs and Monarch decks a long time ago, but I figured, you know, it's still pretty decent effect. It's got the 2,400, 1,000 defense, what you needed in this deck, and it's dark, so you know, there's nothing wrong with being able to remove 1 card from your opponent's side of the field. And then I'm playing 2 of the Vanity's Fiend. I was going to play 3, but I do want to be able to special summon in this deck sometimes, so I just put it down to 2 for now. And it's a dark monster, 2,400. Too bad it's 12 defense, so it doesn't work with some of your Monarch support, but that's okay. And for the Chaos Engine, I'm playing 1 of each of the big guys, Blackluster Soldier, Envoy of the Beginning, and Chaos Emperor Dragon, Envoy of the End. Again, both light and dark. And pretty much everybody knows what these guys do. Luster Soldier banishes a card from the field, you know, kind of like your Chaos there. Or if it destroys a monster, it can make a second attack in a row. So both great effects. And Chaos Emperor Dragon, this is my original one, but he has been errated. That he pretty much blows up everything, blows up the whole field and everything. But then you can't activate any effects for the rest of the turn. So, I mean, he's really in here because he's 3,000 attack, level 8, which is important. And he's easy special summon. And rounding out the rest of the Monarchs, we got 3 of the what is that? Ether, the Heavenly Monarch, which is a 2,800, 1,000 defense, and 3 of the Erebus, the Underworld Monarch. Both pretty good effects. I mean, this one allows you to special summon them on during your opponent's turn, and this one is you can tribute summon this card. You could send 2 Monarch spell or traps with different names from your hand or deck to the graveyard, and if you do, shuffle 1 card from your opponent's hand at random, graveyard, or their side of the field into the deck. So it's pretty good. I mean, and it's level 8. That's why I like them in here. They're lights and darks, and they're level 8s. So that's it for the monster counts. Let's get into the spells. So for the spells, we really want to turbo through this deck, and this is what I was thinking about. You know, so 1 for 1 to help you bring out your level 1 light guy, your Squire. He's the only target for this, so you got 3 of them. But you really want to get him out really quick, so 1 for 1 will help. Upstart, because we want to thin the deck a little bit, so make it a 39 card deck. Trade-ins, so I got 3 trade-ins because, you know, these are level 8s. Your Chaos monsters are level 8s. I think that's it. Yeah, so you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 tribute, or 8 level 8 monsters that you can use for trade-in. So, and it just digs into your deck to draw 2 cards. And for more card drawing, Allure of Darkness, because you are playing a lot of darks. So, you know, it doesn't hurt to get rid of 1 from your hand if you don't need it. And again, digging into the deck. And of course, the best draw, or, well, I think so, in this deck, the best draw spell is the Pantheism of the Monarchs. A lot of people keep saying that this card needs to come back to 3. It really does, because there is no, like, Monarchs are not that powerful that they're going to become tier 1 or tier 0 deck anytime soon. So, but this one is send 1 Monarch spell or trap from your hand to the graveyard to draw 2 cards. Then you can banish this card from your graveyard, reveal 3 Monarch spell or trap cards from your deck. Your opponent chooses 1 and add it to your hand. So it really does help, and you know, I like when you get cards that activate in the graveyard as well, give you kind of 2 effects. And then I got 3 of the Monarch Storm 4th. Again, you know, you got to support your Monarchs, so you got to get them out on the field, and so you can tribute off for your opponent's monsters for any of these guys that require a single tribute, or if you have your domain out, you can bring out these guys. And of course, we got Return of the Monarch, another good card. It's just good to have at least 1 of. It's searchable, so you can get it into your hand when you need it, and essentially it prevents you from special summoning monsters from the extra deck, which is fine. And when you tribute summon a monster, you can activate 1 of the effects. It basically just lets you search your deck for a Monarch and put it in your hand. So 2400 attack, 1000 defense, or 2800 attack, 1000 defense. So you can grab most of your monsters that you need. And March of the Monarchs. Again, I'm putting 1 of these each, just because you could search them out with Tenacity. So this one, tribute summon monsters you control cannot be targeted by or destroyed by your opponent's effects, or card effects, I should say. You cannot special summon monsters from the extra deck, which is no big deal. And of course, the Searcher, 3 Tenacities. This one, you reveal a monster from your hand with 2400 attack and 1000 defense, or 28 and 1000 defense, and add a Monarch spell or trap from your deck to your hand. So pretty much you're going to grab your Pantheism, or, you know, depending on the scenario, if you need your March out, just prevent your opponent from just like destroying your monsters, or if you need a Storm 4th, I mean, you just grab whatever you need. It's your tutor of the deck. And most important card in the deck for a lot of playing against a lot of decks is Domain of the True Monarchs. When I did my first Monarch deck profile, it was mostly based on this card, so you want to pull that out, and you pretty much just stop any opponent from special summoning, because while you have no cards in your extra deck, which you won't, and you're the only player that controls a tribute summon monster, your opponent cannot special summon monsters from the extra deck, so it shuts your opponent down. And if a tribute summon monster you control attacks the opponent's monster, it gains 800 attacks. So that's a nice little bonus. So it just boosts up your monsters to run over pretty much anything your opponent has on the field. And then for the last 2 cards, 2 the Prime Monarch. Just kind of helps you out a little bit. Once per turn, you could target 2 Monarch spell or trap cards in your graveyard, shuffle them into your deck, and draw 1 card. Again, adding to the draw power that this deck has. And then you could banish 1 Monarch spell or trap from your graveyard to special summon this card in defense position as a normal monster. Light, level 5, 1000 attack, 2400 defense. So it's something that can kind of save your neck. You can pull it out. You can, you know, leave it in defense mode. It might live. But more importantly, you can use it for tribute fodder for things like your Karez and your Majesty's Fiends and whatever else you might want to pull out. So that's pretty much my thinking on this build. Very similar to my other Monarch deck. If you haven't checked that one out, it's the Domain Monarch deck. I just decided to try and do a little bit of a chaos variant and adding in a lot more draw power. So that was my thinking on this deck. Anyways, let me know what you think. Throw your comments down below. You know, there's always room for improvements with these decks, so I'd just like to hear what you have to say. Anyways, hope you like the deck. Hope you subscribe. Talk to you later.